everyone, welcome back or welcome to my channel. My name is Ren and I make videos a couple of times a week about books and fandom things, but in June I am making a video every day to honour Pride Month, and today I want to talk about pronouns. I spoke about pronouns briefly in the video I made on the 2nd of June, which was explaining the LGBTQIA+ and what all the letters meant and different meanings, and I did go into non-binary and agender and genderqueer. I did briefly touch upon pronouns in that video, but I did also say I was going to be making a whole video about pronouns, and this is that video. I realised my fan was on, I've turned it off now, there should be no more background noise. Okay, cool. So pronouns are something which are really important, and I do see a lot of people still asking why and what are they and why are there different ones and what are pronouns essentially. And pronouns, aside from our names, are what people refer to us as. That is what we get. People refer to us by our pronouns, and it's really important that when you are talking about someone, you are using their correct pronouns. Some people don't have pronouns, some people will have different pronouns to what you think they might be. And I think the discussion that I essentially want to have is just don't assume. I think it's really important to not assume anyone's identity. Don't assume their pronouns, because an outward appearance does not actually correlate with what gender is. Our outward appearances have been socially constructed by people, what we dress like and body hair and what we're wearing and makeup and nails and that kind of thing. All of those things have been socially constructed to fit in a gender binary that is tried to be put onto someone. For example, there is the stereotype that women wear makeup and do this and do that, whereas that's not always the case, and sometimes men wear makeup. And sometimes people that don't have a gender wear makeup, and sometimes non-binary people wear makeup. Most of the time it is safe to just refer to them and use they, theirs and them, but honestly, until you know their pronouns, just use their name. Just use someone's name. It's absolutely fine. Just use someone's name until they tell you. And it's okay to ask. I think that's what a lot of people worry about. They don't want to ask, they don't want to offend. But you don't have to say to someone, are your pronouns he or she? Say to them, hi, my name is so and so and these are my pronouns. What are yours? And the more that we normalize that, the more that it becomes just a general thing that we ask people for their pronouns and how they would like us to refer to them. And I think that it's really important that we continue to do that. I think it's also important as well to remember that pronouns do not always reflect gender. Their pronouns is how they want to be referred to and what they feel comfortable referring to them as, and it does not always assume a gender as well. Like I said, some people don't have a gender, they don't have pronouns, they just want to be referred to as their name. And all you have to do is ask. You just say to someone, this is my name, these are my pronouns, what are yours? And they will say, this is my name and these are my pronouns, or this is my name and I don't use pronouns, just refer to me as my name. And actually it's really not that hard. I think a lot of people worry about certain things because we have been so trained to refer to people by he or she. That's just like a thing from when we're born, you know, like in shops. Have you ever in a shop with a parent or someone when you were little and there's someone behind the till and they'll say, give it to the lady or give it to the man, and it's an innocent statement, but it's from the get-go you're kind of perpetuating those things and kind of being like, yeah, okay, they're a lady. Why have you assumed that they're a lady? What is it about them that's made you assume that they are a lady? So it's something that I think needs to be more normalized, that we ask people for their pronouns. Like, just say, give it, you know, hand over the money. You know, it's really not that hard to normalize using gender neutral terms until you know someone's actual gender identity and their actual pronouns. It's really easy as well when we're talking about specific things. One thing that people talk a lot about is saying people with periods, because here's the thing, not all people that have periods are women and not all women have periods. So by saying women get periods, you're alienating a lot of people, because some men get periods and some women don't have them. Use people with rather than women with or men with, or, you know, it's actually, once you start to apply those things and practice those things, it becomes so much easier to be aware of the people around us and pronouns around us. Obviously, mistakes are going to happen. You might accidentally misgender someone. They might have asked you to change their pronouns. You know, they might, you know, someone might come out and say, actually, these are my pronouns, I'm going to go by this now. And you might slip up, or you might meet someone for the first time and you misgender them. They will correct you. The best thing to do is just apologize. The only person in the world who is like allowed to tell someone their pronouns themselves. So the only person that is allowed to tell me my pronouns is me, and I will tell other people, and no one else has any right to refer to me as anything other than what I've asked them to refer to me as, because that's not my pronouns. If you said to someone, hi, my name's Susan, and then someone goes your whole life calling you Doris, it's going to be annoying, isn't it? Because they're just completely ignoring your actual name. So by ignoring someone's pronouns, you're just invalidating who they are, essentially, consistently. Obviously, like I said, mistakes will happen. Apologize. Practice referring to someone, because then it becomes a thing, it becomes a normal thing. Also, don't refer to specific pronouns as masculine or feminine, because again, that is something completely different and does not always correlate with certain pronouns. So just don't refer to specific pronouns as masculine or feminine. I did talk about this in my LGBTQIA+ just like explanation video, but pronouns in bios. Instagram now has a really cool thing where you can put your pronouns, like there's a section for pronouns, and on Twitter and other platforms, people put their pronouns in their bios, which is super fun and it's super good. And if you are able to do that, that's brilliant. Even if you are a cisgendered person who goes by the pronouns that you were assigned at birth, that's brilliant. Please put them in your bio if you can, because it normalizes the use of pronouns and the public kind of discussion around pronouns. It's really, really cool. However, there has been a lot of discourse and hate at people that do not put pronouns in their bios. And one thing I just want to say is that you do not know someone's personal situation. Someone might not want to put their pronouns in their bio because they might feel uncomfortable putting the pronouns they were assigned at birth, because that's actually not their pronouns, in their bio, and they do not want to be misgendered, but they may not be in the position to be able to come out yet and to be able to use their actual pronouns. They don't want to put that in there because it's not safe for them, or they're not ready to do that. So someone not putting their pronouns in their bio doesn't mean that they're being an awful human being. You don't know those circumstances. So please just be very wary and just very good about that, because you don't always know. Also important to say that that's their actual pronouns, not their preferred pronouns, because like that's who they are, that's their identity. It's not just what they prefer every so often, so you can like pick and choose. That's their name, that's who they are, so refer to them as that. I'm gonna link some links in the description about all the different types of pronouns that there are, and going into them, because there are pronouns that aren't my pronouns, and I don't want to be, you know, other people will explain these a lot better than me. And just before I go, I want to talk about these two books. So we have They, Them and Their by Eris Young, which is a guide to non-binary and gender queer identities, and also What's Your Pronoun by Dennis Barron, which is beyond he and she, and I really like it because Dennis has his pronouns, he, him and his as well. These are two really good books. This one I think was my favourite one out of both of them, but I got these two this year. I've been reading them this year, flicking through them. They're non-fiction. They're brilliant. I would really, really, really recommend them if you want to learn more about pronouns and the different types of pronouns, how to pronounce them and all that kind of thing. These two are really, really, really good. I would love for more recommendations and non-fiction book recommendations in the comments as well, so that I can educate myself more on different pronouns and other people can as well. But like I said, I got these two this year and they're really, really good, really helpful, really educational. This one, like I said, goes into every pronoun beyond just he and she, so I would really, really recommend. I wanted to make this video because I think talking about pronouns is really important, and it's really good to just continue having discussions about pronouns and why we have our pronouns and the importance of them and different ways to approach pronouns. So yes, if you guys are new here, then I make videos a couple of times a week about books and fandom things. So if you want to stick around and join us, feel free to hit that subscribe button and a little notification bell. And as usual, all the links to my other social medias and also my Stranger Things podcast, which I co-host with my friend Emily. It's called Hawkins Do You Copy, and we talk about all things Stranger Things, is in the description as well if you want to come check that out. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you're doing really, 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 really well, and I will see you next time. Goodbye. Bye.